Buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Saṅghaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Appamadena Sampadetha. Friends, I am glad to be here with you for this retreat. Today, we all have been practicing from this morning. So now this time is for us to listen to the Dhamma. For this Dhamma talk, our topic is written here. Appamadena Sampadetha. That is the topic. What is that? That is the Buddha's last word. Just before he passed away, the Buddha addressed the monks and said, "Monks," the Buddha said, "Vaya Dhamma Sankhara Appamadena Sampadetha." Vaya Dhamma Sankhara. All conditioned things are impermanent, changing. Vaya Dhamma Sankhara. All Dhammas, all conditioned things are changing. Appamadena Sampadetha. Practice diligently, mindfully. So mindfulness is the topic. Mindfulness, let's understand how mindfulness leads to liberation. That is the full topic today. How mindfulness leads to liberation. As I said, this is the Buddha's last word. Appamada means mindfulness, diligent. Appamada. Once the Buddha said, Appamado amatapada. Appamado amatapada. Appamada is the cause for deathlessness. Mindfulness is the cause for deathlessness. Pamado machuno padam. Pamada is unmindfulness, heedlessness, is the cause for death. Those who are mindful, they never die. But they said they never die. But unmindful ones are like dead bodies, like dead ones, though live. So mindfulness is very important. As this is the Buddha's last word, let's understand the Buddha's first word as well. First word and the last word. What is the first word of the Buddha? First utterance of the Buddha. Right after his attainment of enlightenment, the Buddha said, Aneka jati sansarang sandha vissang anibbisang Gahakarakang gave santo dukkha jati punah punah Gahakaraka ditthosi punagehang nakahasi Sabbate phasuka bhagga gahakutang visankhitam Visankhara gatan chittang tanhanang khayamajjaga. I know you can't understand this. This is in Pali. Let's understand the meaning. Don't worry about Pali, though it is Greek for you. Aneka jati sansarang. Right after his attainment of enlightenment, Buddha said, Aneka jati sansaram. Sansara, you know what sansara is. Birth, death, this cycle. Aneka jati, too many a birth. Many birth times. Too many a birth. I wanted too many births in this cycle of samsara. Too many births I wanted. Seeking, but not finding. Sandhavisang, dhavisang, anibhisang, not finding. Who? The builder of this house. What is the house? This is the house. Me is the house. I is the house. The builder of this house of I. Seeking the builder of this house. Who? The builder. Gahakarakam gavesanto dukkha jati punah punah. Gahakaraka is the builder. Seeking the builder of this house. Dukkha jati punah punah. Birth again and again in samsara is dukkha. It is dukkha to be born again and again. If we are born again and again the same like humans in America every time, in Canada, America, or like rich countries, sometimes it might be good, but not that. One time we are born as hungry ghost, nothing to eat, no clothing, no drinks, eat, nothing. No facilities, nothing. Hungry ghost. Sometimes animals, like dogs, cats, cows, different cattle, like many different beings, snakes, like that. This is the problem. Birth again and again is dukkha. Dukkha jati punah punam. Punah punam means again and again. Again and again. Birth again and again is dukkha. Dukkha jati punah punam. Now the Buddha said, Gahakaraka ditthosi, now I see you. Thou art seen. Now I can see you. Now I see you. Gahakaraka ditthosi. Now I see the builder of the house. Now I see you. Gahakaraka ditthosi. Punna gehang nakahasi. You will never build house again. Punna gehang nakahasi. Why? Sabbate phasuka bhagga. All your rafters. Bhagga, broken. Rafters of the house were broken. Sabbate phasuka bhagga. Gaha kutang visankitang. Gaha kuta is the ritual. You know those days when people build houses, they use only one pole, which is called ridgepole, to which they hook all these rafters. The rafters were broken, the ridgepole were broken, scattered, everything scattered. Now no more. You can't build house now. You cannot build house again. Punna gehan nakahasi sabbate pasuka bhagga gaha kutang visankitang shattered. Broken. Visankitang karagatang. My chit, my mind is now gone beyond condition. This is the important point for us. Beyond condition. Now my mind is not a conditioned mind. Nobody can condition this. It is not conditioned. It is not depend on anything now. Not conditioned. It is unconditioned. Go on beyond. It is unconditioned now. Our problem is conditioned mind, conditioned body. Then what? Suffering. Vaya Dhamma Sankara. All conditioned things are impermanent. All conditioned things are changing. So the Buddha's mind went beyond condition, which is called unconditionality. That is what is called Nibbana, Nirvana. So this is the point where we have to understand. as long as we are conditioned, we have to suffer. We have to face dukkha, our conditioned physicality and mentality. Therefore, the Buddha's instructions to go beyond conditionality. If you go beyond, that is what is called attainment of enlightenment. That is what is called liberation. In order to go beyond, what should you do? You have to find the builder of this house. Who is that? Craving. Craving is the builder of this house. It is because of craving we suffer. It is because of craving dukkha arises. You know the Four Noble Truths. Dukkha, the cause of dukkha, the cessation of dukkha, and the path leading to the cessation of dukkha. The cause of dukkha is craving. So in order to seek this, find this craving, we have to practice. We have to practice. We have to calm down ourselves. We have to calm down our body, calm down our word and mind. Body and mind both should be calmed down. For that purpose, there is the Buddha found a technique which is called bhavana. Bhavana, meditation. That is based on mindfulness. Not only bhavana, whole teaching of the Buddha is based on mindfulness. Without mindfulness, no practice, no meditation. So, mindfulness is that important thing. So, what is mindfulness? The Buddha has given only two letters, sati. In English, S-A-T-I. In Pali, two letters, sati. In English, four letters, S-A-T-I. That is mindfulness. But to understand this, we have to use many different terms, such as attention. Mindfulness means attention. You give attention to do something. Awareness. You are aware of things. Alertness. You are alert. What is going on? You are alert. Here, diligence. Buddha said, diligence. Be diligent. Practice diligently. Earnestly. Ardently. Like that. So, clear awareness. Understanding. Mindfulness simply means you are in the present moment. Your mind is in the present moment. Whether you are attentive or you are aware, you are in the present moment. If you are in the present moment, you are mindful. So, this means whenever we practice meditation, we have to be in the present moment. We cannot be mindful in the past or in the future. Only in the present moment. In other words, we cannot attain enlightenment in the past or the future. Enlightenment is right here, in the present moment. Mindfulness is twofold. Mindfulness of memory and mindfulness of power. Mindfulness of memory means you can remember many things. You have good memory. You can remember many things. That is what is called mindfulness of memory, which doesn't help for the attainment of enlightenment. However much you memorize things, however much you keep in your memory, you cannot attain enlightenment through that memory. So what is mindfulness of power? That is the mindfulness in the present moment. If you are mindful now, you are alert. You are aware of what is going on. You are developing your wisdom. You are developing your insight, vipassana. It is through vipassana that we can attain enlightenment. That is why we have to practice mindfulness. The Buddha taught mindfulness in many discourses. He has taught us mindfulness, how to practice mindfulness. He has given different similes to understand how to practice mindfulness. Once the Buddha said, suppose there is an announcement that the beautiful girl, like Miss America, is coming. She is a singer, dancer. She is coming to a certain place, to a platform. Then the people, they all come there to see her, to listen to her. The dancing, singing. Many people come in from different corners. Then a certain person want to give a punishment to another person. So what he does is, he gives a bowl full of oil for him to take it across the crowd. Suppose the bowl is given like this. A bowl is given full of oil, full to the brim. Now he asks him to take the bowl across the people without dropping a drop. If drop a drop, spill a drop, what happened? Behind him there is another person raising a sword to cut his neck if he drop a drop. So now, how should he be mindful? If he drop a drop, his neck cut. So he has to be very mindful. Mindfully he had to take it across the crowd. That is one of the simile given. Another simile was the stick for the cow. Suppose a man or a woman need a cow to take across the crops, well-grown crops, say rice is well grown. When it is well grown, naturally cows, the cattle, they want to eat this grass. Suppose there is a path across the crops, across the field. Now the person is going to take one cow across the field. Now when he is going to take this, he has to use a stick. All the time he has to use the stick like this on the top of the cow, and the right side, the left side, like poke, touch, hitting, this way, to prevent him eating the crops, because the crops is not his own, another person's crops. He wants to take the cow across the crops, across the field. So he has to keep like this, this side poke, like poke, hit, like that, all the time, like that. One has to be mindful, one has to give attention all the time. That is how to practice mindfulness. Mindfulness is compared to a watchful driver, very careful driver. The driver, if the driver is careful, he is always alert. Buddha has compared mindfulness to a watchful driver. He's always alert. He knows what is going on. Right side, left side, front, back, and his own car. He's driving 5 cars. Front, the back, the right, left, his own. Just like that. Mindfulness. So here in the present moment, no time to think of any other thing. Always alert. That is why we are asked to check all the time, check the mirrors and be alert when driving. So like that. Mindfulness is to be practiced like that. One day a certain deity came to the Buddha and said, Satya viya omatto daiha maneva mattake kama raga pahanaya satto bhikkhu paribhaje. Satya viya omatto. As if someone's head is smitten with a weapon. Satya viya omatto. Or dayamaneva mattako. Or like one's head were on fire. It's flaming. What should he do? He has to take action. No time to wait. As his head was hit, he has to take action soon. If his head is on fire, he has to take action. He has to go somewhere quickly. He has to extinguish it. Like that. Kama raga pahanaya sato bhikkhu paribhaje. The deity said, as such, the person, the practitioner should practice mindfulness so that he can eradicate kama raga. Kama raga is lust. To eradicate lust, in order to abandon lust, the practitioner, the bhikkhu, should practice mindfulness. That is what the deity said. But simply abandoning kamaraga, simply abandoning lust is not enough. Buddha knows better. Buddha knows better. Buddha then said the same thing. The first 2 lines the same. Satyaviya omatto daiha maneva mattake. As if one's head was smitten with a sword, with a weapon, or his head were on fire. The practitioner, the meditator, the bhikkhu should practice mindfulness. For what? Sakkaya ditti pahanaya. Not simply abandon your lust. Lust is abandoned when you are old. Lust is not that important then. Lust is not enough. What about anger? The other side. Lust is only one side, kama raga. But the Buddha said, Sakkaya ditti pahanaya. For the abandonment of Sakkaya ditti, one has to practice mindfulness. What is Sakkaya ditti? Sakkaya means my own body. It's me, I, myself. This concept, I concept, my concept. This is called Sakkaya ditti. How the Sakkaya ditti arises? Sakkaya ditti arises thinking of, that is called personality belief. We personalize ourselves. We personalize ourselves with self. We think this body, referring to body, we think my form is myself. Or self is my form. Or we think the self is in my form. Or we think my form is in myself. Referring to self, comparing self and form in 4 ways. 4 ways. Then feeling, perception, volitional formation and consciousness. 5 aggregates. This man is called man or woman, or the being is called 5 aggregates. In reference to 5 aggregates, we think self is form, self is feeling, like that, 4 ways. In such a way, 20 ways. In 20 ways we are tied, we are not, we are bound. That is what is called personality belief, sakkaya ditthi. That is the first fetter of the 10 fetters through which we are bound to samsara. We can come to understand these 10 fetters later. So friends, this is why the Buddha taught us to practice mindfulness. When practice mindfulness, sati, it should go with clear comprehension. Mindfulness and clear comprehension, these are 2 terms to be understood, 2 things to be developed. Mindfulness means giving attention. Clear comprehension means understanding it clearly. When you give attention to your breath, to your object, you to understand it clearly. That clear understanding is also very important, without which we cannot develop insight. So this is why we have to practice both together, mindfulness and clear comprehension. Now, to understand Dhamma, to understand mindfulness, to develop mindfulness, Buddha taught us a technique. That technique is called establishment of mindfulness. Establishment of mindfulness. Satipatthana. We have to establish mindfulness. Where? 4 places. Mindfulness is to be established on our body. Mindfulness is to be established on our feelings. Mindfulness is to be established on our mind. And mindfulness is to be established on our mental objects. Those are called 4 establishments of mindfulness. That is the technique of meditation. When practice meditation, there are 2 levels of meditation. Samatha and Vipassana. These are the 2 levels. Samatha means calmness meditation. Serenity, calmness, tranquility meditation. Which you can find anywhere. Even before the Buddha. Before the Buddha, there were many ascetics, many rishis, sages. They practiced calmness meditation, samatha meditation. They attained different levels. They developed jhana, many different jhanas. But no attainment of enlightenment. No eradication of craving. Purpose is not served. Condition, not go beyond condition. So the Buddha understood that it was not the way. Buddha wanted to find something new. He wanted to understand what kusala is, what skillfulness is. He went forth. He renounced his worldly life and went forth and as an ascetic to seek what is kusala. With that intention, he realized something new. That is the middle way. Through middle path, he realized what is called insight meditation, vipassana, which is unparalleled. No other place you can see this. No other place you can find vipassana. Only in the teaching of the Buddha. That I should say. If anybody has any question on that, we can discuss later. Why I say that? Vipassana means you see things as they are. See things as they really are. When you see things as they are, what can you see? You can see three things. These are the three marks, three characteristics of all things. Three marks of all things. What are the three? Everything is changing. Everything is changing. Nothing unchanging. In the whole system of the world. Nothing unchanging. That is called impermanent. Things are impermanent. Whatever is in the nature of changing, it is in the nature of unsatisfactoriness, dukkha. That is the second mark, second characteristic. And whatever is changing, whatever is in the nature of changing and dukkha, it is in the nature of soulless. No soul, no self, not self, not self. That is soullessness. What is soul? What is self? Permanent thing. Nothing permanent. Nothing permanent. In the whole world, nothing permanent. So these are the three characteristics. Impermanence, unsatisfactoriness and soullessness. These are the three that we can see in all things. When we see this, we do not grasp things. We do not attach to things. Because we know things are changing. Why? What is the purpose of grasping? What happens if you grasp? You yourself hurt. You get hurt. Why? It's changing. Things are changing. You think that it is permanent, you grasp it, you want to keep it as it's fresh, young, new, but eventually you see that no, you can't keep like that. Things are changing. This is why the Buddha taught us to understand this Dhamma. Buddha taught this technique of Vipassana. In order to practice Vipassana, one has to practice Samatha first. Samatha meditation. Mindfulness of breathing is one of the ways to practice Samatha, which eventually you can switch to insight. This is why, friends, we have to practice meditation. When practice meditation, as I said, the Buddha taught us this technique to establish mindfulness. For this purpose, the Buddha taught a special discourse named Satipatthana Sutta. Sati means mindfulness, Patthana means establishment. So, that is the establishment of mindfulness, the Sutta, the discourse. This is the most important discourse for meditation. Every meditator should read this, understand this, and practice accordingly. In this sutta, the Buddha said, at the very beginning, the Buddha said, this sutta was delivered for 5 purposes. What are the 5 purposes? For the purification of beings. First one is for the purification of beings. Second, for the overcoming of sorrow and lamentation. For the overcoming of sorrow and lamentation. Second one. Third, for the disappearance of pain and grief. Third. Fourth, for the entering of the path, the Noble Eightfold Path. And the fifth, for the attainment of enlightenment. These are the purposes to deliver this discourse. In this discourse, the Buddha taught us how to practice meditation. That is why I said it is the technique. Samatha Vipassana tandem technique. Here the Buddha says, when practice, try to maintain 4 things. 4 factors. What are the 4 factors? Practice ardently. Ardently, the first. Second, clearly comprehending. Understand it clearly. Third, mindfully. Practice mindfully. And the 4th, equanimously. Practice equanimously. Those are the 4 things to be maintained when we practice. In this discourse, the Buddha said how to practice mindfulness of body as body. That is the first one. Of the 4 establishments, I said there are 4 establishments. Of the 4, the first is the mindfulness of body. In order to explain this, the Buddha gave 6 different methods of meditation. 6 different methods. The first method was the mindfulness of breathing. So the Buddha explained how to practice mindfulness of breathing. To practice mindfulness of breathing, the Buddha said, find a suitable, congenial place first. Go to a woods. Go to a foot of a tree. Or go to an empty house. Empty hut house like this. Empty means no people living there. If you can keep a place which is completely empty, no chairs, no tables, nothing, that's good. Like at home, if you can keep a particular room for that purpose, it helps a lot for your meditation. Completely empty room. No furniture. Not simply empty. So such place. And then the Buddha said, sit cross-legged when you meditate. And keep the body straight. And give attention to the front of your face. And understand your breath. Then you can understand in-breath. Breath is going in. Buddha said, Satto va assa sati, satto va passa sati. Satto va, sati means mindfulness. Satto va, mindfully in, mindfully out. Understand that step. Mindfulness, mindfully breathing in, mindfully breathing out. That's the first thing to be understood. Then at a time you take a lone breath, understand lone breath as lone breath. Where there is lone, then you find short as well. Understand short breath. Lone breath as lone breath, in, out. Then short breath, in, short breath out. Then you can understand whole breath body from beginning to the end, whole breath body. That means your attention is to be kept at the entrance of your nostrils, but you can understand the breath is going in. Once the lungs are filled, you know no more going in. That's the end. Then comes out. Understand that also. Whole breath body. Then you can understand calm in your breath body. That also to be understood. Then the Buddha said, when you practice in this manner, you can understand the changing nature of your breath. Samudaya, vaya, arising nature and perishing nature of your breath. That is how you switch to insight. When you start with serenity, calmness meditation, samatha. Then eventually end up with serenity, insight, vipassana. In such a way, the Buddha taught us to practice mindfulness of breathing. Then the Buddha taught us, when we walk, be mindful. Stand, wherever we stand, be mindful. Wherever we are sitting, be mindful. Wherever we lie down, be mindful. Those are called postures, 4 postures. Be mindful. Then the Buddha said, be mindful when you eat, when you drink, when you use your clothing, when you wear your ornaments, when you use any tool, any bowl, tool, anything. When you stretch your limbs, be mindful. When you bend your limbs, be mindful. When you look this way, that way, be mindful. This is how to develop mindfulness. Be mindful means stay here. Stay with the action. Stay with the action is mindfulness. If you are giving your attention to your action, you are mindful. Any action, any activity, either action or activity, be mindful on that. Give attention to that. Where you are developing your mindfulness. So, then the Buddha classified this body into 32 parts and asked us to observe these different parts and understand these things. That is another method of meditation. Repulsiveness of body. Again, another method of meditation was given as 4 elements. All things are made up of 4 elements. What are the 4? Earth, water, fire, air. In this body we find these 4 elements. So the Buddha's instructions was to understand these 4. And as the 6th one, the Buddha said, 6th method of meditation to establish mindfulness of body, Buddha said, as the custom of the day, as people used to throw away their dead bodies, they throw away, they did not cremate or they did not bury those days people did not bury dead bodies. When the dead bodies were taken to the graveyard, the Buddha said, go there and see, understand different stages of the dead body. Like after 2 days after death, 3 days after death, 1 week after death, go there and see different stages of the dead body. Then you can understand what happened to that and compare it with yourself. This is what happened to me also. That's how you to understand. Comparing the dead body with your body, understand. That itself is a meditation. So, in this manner, the Buddha gave us 6 methods to practice, to establish mindfulness on body as body. Then feelings. Feelings, we have many different feelings in this body. So the Buddha said, observe your feelings. Understand different feelings. Basically there are 3. Pleasant feeling, painful feeling, and neither pleasant nor painful. 3 types of feelings, basically. But feelings, whatever sensations are to be understood. That is what is called understanding mindfulness or establishments of mindfulness of feelings. Then the third one is called mindfulness of mind, where we are observing our mind, the nature of mind, different states of mind, mental states. When we practice in this manner, we can understand the Dhamma. Dhamma means we can understand, we can realize things. We can realize our 5 hindrances first. Then these 5 aggregates. 5 hindrances are sense desire, ill will, laziness and sleepiness, restlessness and worry, and doubt. Then these 5 aggregates are form, feeling, perception, volitional formation and consciousness. These are to be understood. Then 12 bases. Then 7 factors of enlightenment. And finally we can understand the 4 noble truths and the dependent origination. With this understanding, we come to understand the Noble Eightfold Path as the path. The Buddha said at the end of the discourse, Buddha said, monks, if one were to practice this accordingly for 7 years, one can attain enlightenment. Within 7 years. If not, if residue remains, if any defilements remains, then he would attain the state of non-returner. So either attainment of enlightenment, full enlightenment, or the state of non-returner within 7 years if practiced. Then the Buddha said, forget about 7 years. Within 6 years you can do that. Then Buddha reduced. Within 5 years, 4 years, 3 years, 2 years, like that, Buddha reduced. Finally the Buddha said, within 7 days you can do this, if practiced properly. So friends, this is how the Buddha has assured, has recommended us this different methods, meditation. So we have to understand, when we practice, day by day, when we practice, we can understand our own nature. We can understand our own practice. We are on the path then. We are not simply floating the river. Strenuously, with much effort, we strive to swim against the current. That is Dhamma. Not just floating with others, not go with the flow. Go with the flow is not the dharmic term. Go with the flow is the consumerism, maybe the consumerism term, not the dharmic, not Buddhism. Better we have to work hard. Meditation to sit, just to sit is okay, but in order to come to that, it's not that easy. In this society, people always encourage us not to meditate, but to go with the flow, do this. Eat, drink, sex, die. Eat, drink, sex, sleep, die. Those 5. Those are the 5 principles, 5 precepts for such people. They don't encourage us to meditate. So however, we have to understand, when practice, we can reap the results here in this very world. This Dhamma is very well expounded Dhamma. That is why it is called Suakhato Bhagavata Dhamma. This Dhamma was well expounded by the Buddha. Sanditthiko. This Dhamma is directly visible here, right here. You don't want to wait until you die and be born somewhere else to experience this Dhamma, to experience peace, happiness. To gain peace, you don't want to wait next birth until you are born next birth. So, directly visible Dhamma. Sanditthiko, akaliko. It is unaffected by time. Why it is called unaffected by time? No particular time effect, because this same Dhamma that the Buddha and his disciples and the people that time, whatever the Dhamma they experienced in those days, today also we can experience the same Dhamma. It is not affected by time. And the same Dhamma will be experienced by the people in future. Akaliko. Ehi passiko. This Dhamma invites us to come and see, not come and believe. Come and see. Ehi passiko. Opanaiko. This Dhamma, when practiced, Dhamma becomes ours. It's our Dhamma, my Dhamma. Dhamma is within you. Opanaiko, Pachattam Veditabbo Vinyoi. This Dhamma is to be realized by the wise. Not every person can understand this thing. By the wise, individually, though we sit together as group meditation, though we practice in retreats as a group, individually, this should be understood individually. So this is the Dhamma. This is the way to practice. So, craving is to be understood. Craving is to be cut down. In order to cut this down, we have to reduce it. Once a group of students went to the Buddha. They asked many different questions. One person named Ajita, he said, he asked Bhante, he asked in verse, he said, Savante sabbadi sota, sotanang king nivaranang, sotanang sangvarang bruse, kena sota pitthire. Yes, Savanti sabbadi sota. Bhante, streams are flowing all over, everywhere. Streams, creeks are flowing all over. What are these creeks? What are the streams? Streams are the craving. Streams craving flows through your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body and mind. 6 types of craving. These 6 types of craving are called streams. Savanti sabbadi sota. Sota means streams, means craving. Craving is flowing from all these 6 senses, 6 bases. Savanti sabbadi sota. Sotanang kin nivaranam. Bhante, through which should one control this sota, control these streams? How should one control these streams? Sotanang kin nivarana. Sotanang sangvaram brusi. Please tell us how to restrain these streams. Kena sota pitthire. Bhante, from what should one completely stop these streams? From what one should stop these streams of craving? Then the Buddha said, Yani sotani lokasmin satite sang nivaranang sotanang sangvarang brumi panyayete pitthire. Yani sotani lokasmin. Whatever sota, whatever streams in this world, World means within. This is the world. In this world, whatever streams of craving, means 6 cravings, whatever streams. Yāni sotāni lokasmiñ satti tesang nivaranam. All those are to be controlled through your mindfulness. Sati. If you are mindful, you can control your eye. If you are mindful, you can control your ear. If you are mindful, you can control your nose. If you are mindful, you can control your tongue. If you are mindful, you can control your body. If you are mindful, you can control your mind. It is through mindfulness control. Satti tesang nivarana. Sotanam sangvaram brumi. I tell you the restraining of these streams. Panya ete pitiyare. The Buddha said, these streams should be completely stopped, dry out, with panya, wisdom, with insight. Wisdom and insight the same. So it is through wisdom, panyayete pitiyare, through insight meditation, only through insight meditation that you can completely cut off craving. That is the meaning. If without cutting off craving, nobody can attain enlightenment. When practiced in this manner, we can come to understand our personality belief, sakkaya ditthi. With the understanding of personality belief, we can cut off 3 fetters. Sakkaya ditthi, vicikicca, silabbata paramasa. These are the 3. Sakkaya ditthi means personality belief. Vicikicca, doubt. Silabbata paramasa, attachment to rites and rituals. With that we can enter the path as a stream enterer. But still, craving is not completely cut off. But still, the person has cut off sansaric journey. He has cut off his sansaric journey up to remaining only 7 births. He himself, she herself knows that I will be born only maximum 7 lifetimes from this time. Whenever he or she is attaining the path as a stream enterer. Then he makes his effort to practice, continuously practicing. Then attain the 2nd stage, which is called once returner. And then the 3rd one is called non-returner. And finally, the attainment of enlightenment becomes an arahant, the enlightened one. When one enters the path, when one attains enlightenment, he completely cuts off craving. No more craving. That the Buddha said, the complete eradication of craving itself is the attainment of enlightenment. Complete eradication of greed, hatred and delusion. Craving, all gone. No more craving. Such a person is called liberated one. When one is liberated, one knows very well that he is liberated. He says, it is liberated. What is liberated? Mind is liberated. When the mind is liberated, he knows that mind is liberated and he declares that it is liberated, mind is liberated. That liberation mind, liberated mind is the free mind, unattached mind. From that moment until his passing away, he is the Arahant living here in this society with us, among us. This is how, friends, we have to understand this wonderful Dhamma. So let's understand this Dhamma and put this Dhamma into practice in our daily life so that we can live happily, peacefully, light-heartedly. Finally, one day we can attain enlightenment here within this very life. May we attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.